Alright, everybody, bear with me a little bit. I'm a bit exhausted, but let me show you where we're at. So, getting started with Roster Maker 24, it is not anywhere near done yet. We're really just getting started, and this version just has one function that's honestly not complete. But I could use a couple of people taking a look at it and starting to test it a little bit to get a sense for if there's anything off or wrong. But basically, if you head to github.com, type in rostermaker24, I'll put that link in the doodly dad. Go to code and download the zip. Then in your download folder, you'll find the zip file. Remember that we do want to unzip this. If you're using WinRAR, you'll need to use WinRAR to extract it. I'll just throw it on the desktop for now, though generally not best practice to put things on your desktop. Yet again, I'm just creating this for local use at the moment. Eventually it'll all live online, but for now local use is fine. So if you just double click on that local.html, it'll take you to this file here. If you upload now a FIFA 23 players table, then it will process it and create a FIFA 24 table. I don't have a squad file yet, so I haven't been able to test this to make sure that it imports, so that's one thing that I could use some help with. It does add the 3 new columns to it, and everything should be in order. By the way, the 3 new columns are icon trait 1, icon trait 2, and muscularity code. So those are the 3 new ones. The other thing is that this does nothing to deal with player names, which I wouldn't expect to match from 23 to 24, so we'll need to incorporate the players table. But I just kind of want to see if it will import at base into RDBM 24, so if somebody could test that, that would be helpful. The other thing that I want to show off is the way that we're building this particular pipeline now is a lot more sophisticated than in the past. So what we're doing is essentially building some of these scripts and releasing them publicly so that they can be accessed anywhere. And there are certain functions that will be accessible anywhere. So for instance, one of my packages that I'm working on that just includes some basic functions for everyday use, things that we might need across a lot of different circumstances within some of this editing. So that's just this siphon.js package. You can now access a version of this online, and a bunch of these functions are already built in, and I'm going to continue to add to this repository of functions. So a lot of the ones that I use to make this work, actually most of the ones that I use to make this work live in here already, but it's all public so you can see which ones go where. As a demonstration of this, essentially what you need to do is get the content delivery, the CDN URL, which looks like this, JS deliver, and if you're doing it with VS Code, all you have to do is put the script tag with the source here. Remember to defer. If you're using something like JS Fiddle to mess around, then you go to resources and paste it in here, and then hit the little plus mark, and then it's in there. And so, for instance, now we could do console.log ran between 100, and it will output a random number right there. What it's essentially doing is this code is referencing what got pasted in here, which is now listed as siphon.js, which you can look at is the exact code here that was pulled from here. So these functions now live on the web and exist here forever, and we never need to remake them. Once they work, they work. And so things like reading a text file, for instance, you could do that with any files you wanted to right from the off right now. So I don't know if I have the output set up for this just yet. Let's see what it returns here. I know it returns nothing if we there. Read a text file. text file. What does it return? Return a new promise. Oh, yeah. It's returning the promise. Right. My bad. Alright, so, sorry, like I said, I'm tired. But this should work. So, essentially, if we take something like the input that I have here, it's a pretty basic little file input, and drop it into the HTML here, and then we'll create a function called whatever. I'll call it read file. Read file is just gonna be function read file, no arguments, and then read text file is the name of this txt file. Read txt file is the name of the function within Saipan.js. So there, hack from some of my old code. Here we go. So essentially in JS Fiddle now we can do get element by ID. The ID needs to match what's in here. So FIFA 23 player table. If I change this ID to be ABCD, then I change this here to match that ABCD. Get element by ID, HTML, ABCD. That gets the file that's uploaded there. You have to do this as an async function. And essentially, this isn't a tutorial, this is basically just a really brief demonstration to show that we can take one line of code, it will deal with everything else in here, and it should run just fine once we put it up on the web. Now this doesn't run the rest of it, so there's no real output here, but it did run. One way that we could check that is just do a console.log of obj23, which is actually a pretty big file, if I recall correctly. Ooh, are you crashing here? No, it's processing. It's a big file, so this takes a minute, but as far as I'm aware, this is actually running right now. Oh, wow. We've really stressed it. It's trying to print the entire players table within a browser while I'm streaming, so that's why this is taking a minute. It's probably going to give me the not responding message a couple more times. But the point being, it got the file, and so now we can begin to interact with it. And what I probably could have done for demonstration's sake is just give you the first entry, for instance, but like I said, I'm tired. So this is some stuff worth testing when we have a chance. I wonder, can I copy this? Nah, it'll die. Oh. Died anyway. Ran itself out of memory. I ran it out of memory because I didn't code this well. Because what I should have done is just give us like the first record. So now if we do that, rerun it, then it'll just give us one record. You can see these are all kind of stored as strings right now, but you can see that it automatically grabs the name of the column header, and uses that as the key for the key value pair. So anyway, all that's to say, basically you can run any of this code by using the URL listed in here, and this is in the local distribution. So worth looking at. All right, see ya.